Welcome to Lifestyle Med with Dr. Jade. Health, it's a lifestyle.
Hey family, and welcome back to Lifestyle Med with Dr. Jade. And this week we are talking about obesity in our children, or pediatric obesity, and the top 5 things that we have seen that are connected to pediatric obesity. In this video, we will not only be going over the top causes, my top 5 causes that we know are linked to childhood obesity, but also our top 5 preventative strategies to help prevent childhood obesity. We don't just want to talk about the cause, we want to talk about what can we do to prevent it. Are you new here? Welcome. I'm Dr. Jade. I'm a family medicine physician resident, and on this channel, we talk all about fitness, nutrition, primary care hot topics, inspirational topics. This is just a place for good vibes, good energy, and people that just want to get one step closer to obtaining our optimal level of health. If that is you, make sure to hit the like button on this video, peruse around the channel, and join the fam by subscribing, hitting the bell so you never miss a video, and join our fam on Instagram as well at Dr. Jade MD. So why is this important, guys? Because 1/3 at this point, for every 3 children, 1 of them is either overweight or obese in the United States. This is an epidemic in itself, a pandemic in itself, and it leads to chronic obesity into adulthood. It leads to chronic diseases, diabetes, heart disease, a stroke, all the things that we're trying to prevent in chronic disease for adults. It starts in childhood and increases the risk of getting those things throughout your life, and increases the risk of adult obesity as well. So we are trying to get our kiddos started off on the best track that we can, on the healthiest track that they can, to promote a healthy life for them as adolescents, teens, and adults. In our office, your primary care doctor will be monitoring what we call a growth chart. And the growth chart looks at the overall percentile or average percentage of children in every age group based on their height and their weight and their length. And it tells us what percent your child falls in. Is your child a child that is in the 25th percentile in weight and height? Is your child, or length, is your child a person or a baby who falls in the 50th percentile? Do they fall in the 80th percentile? In general, we like to see them progress along their natural growth curve. We don't like to see them fall off of their growth curve, or drop down on that growth curve, or jump up on that growth curve, okay? And so that's why your doctor will continue at each well-child visit to monitor the growth curve and see, are they progressing along that healthy, normal progression for their body. And once your children are over 2 years old, we do start looking at these percentiles in more of the BMI, or the body mass index. And when we start looking at the growth chart percentile, the 85th to the 95th percentile does fall into the overweight category. Over the 95th percentile is falling into our obese category, and over the 99th percentile does fall into our morbidly or severely obese category. And we're looking at these things not to put labels on our children. Trust me, it is the most awkward thing when we have to talk about pediatric children being overweight and obese in the office, because we never want our parents to feel like it's something that they are doing wrong. But it is our job to talk about what we can do to provide the best health and the best start for our children. And looking at these growth charts are very important to help us do that, and help us make recommendations, and to help us see where we can make some changes to promote better health for our children. And what we know in evidence-based research is almost all of obesity found in children, and that's almost all is related to environmental factors. And I'm going to talk about the top 5 factors here in this video. So number 5 is sugary drinks. Our kiddos drinking the sugary drinks is one of the top causes of childhood obesity. It includes fruit juices and juice box and sodas, even things like Gatorades, and anything that has any added sugar in it is going to promote obesity in our kids, especially because they can just sip on those things all day long, from the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep, and it does exacerbate or worsen obesity, being overweight in our children. Number 4 is processed food. We are living in America. We know all about this American diet, this high fat, high processed, fast food. It's so easy to grab those chicken nuggets and warm them up for the kiddos, you know, the meat products. But we know that this is linked to childhood obesity. Whole foods, the foods that are, you know, rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains in their whole form are going to promote better health for our children. Number 3 is large portions. So just giving our children not only unhealthy food, but then these large portions of food. So, you know, having things like the size of your palm or the size of a fist or little things like that that can help with portion control and portion sizes for our children, and really starting those healthy habits early. And that's what all of this is about, not shaming parents or anything like that, but really saying, what can we do to promote these healthy habits and train their palate to crave healthy foods early on? Because we know that where we start is often where we end. And if we start by craving unhealthy foods, we're most likely going to crave those unhealthy foods later in life as well. If we eat larger portions early on in life, we're going to tend to eat these larger portions as adults. Number 2 is screen time. We live in the era of the TV, the streaming, the YouTube, what else? The iPad kids. Everywhere you go, you see your kids with the iPad, but increasing that screen time, increasing those video games, we know is linked to childhood obesity as well. And number 1 is less physical activity. And this is kind of a combination of all of these things. Having more screen time and being tied to the iPad or the computer or the TV screen at all times, and eating unhealthy foods, all of these things help lead to having less physical activity than our children typically need, is linked to childhood obesity. And my bonus is poor sleep. Our children that are sleeping less hours, less than 8 hours, that are not having those naps during the day at age appropriate for naps, the children that are not having that, there is also a clear link to obesity in our children that are not getting the appropriate amount of sleep. So what are the recommendations? Now we've talked about the top 5 things that we have seen that are linked to childhood obesity, which are environmental factors that are modifiable or changeable factors. But let's talk about solutions. What can we do to prevent or reverse childhood obesity? And what I like to talk about with my patients is the 5-4-3-2-1-0 method. And that is 5 servings of vegetables and fruits throughout the day, every day. 4 servings of water, at least 4 servings or cups of water every day. At least 3 colors on the plate. So when we talk about having fruits and vegetables on that plate, we want it to also be colorful. So striving for at least 3 different colors of those veggies, fruits, and grains on the plate is our 3. 2 is 2 hours or less of screen time per day. And I stress the or less. 1 hour or less is even better, but 2 hours or less of screen time, and that's in the form of iPads, TVs, video games, or less per day is going to help with childhood obesity. And 1 is 1 or more hours of physical activity per day for our kids. Just good old fashioned playing, running around, playing, enjoying themselves, moving their bodies. 1 or more hour per day. And the 0 is 0 sugary drinks. 0 sugary drinks per day. No juices, nothing with added sugar in the beverage is the goal. These are just strategies, right? So these aren't strict rules. This isn't every single day. Well, most of them are recommendations for just daily life and lifestyle, right? Lifestyle recommendations for our children to prevent obesity. But these are strategies to help improve the health and promote better health in our children. And the other bonus in the 5-4-3-2-1-0 is an 8 thrown in there, and that is a recommendation of at least 8 hours of sleep or more for our children. All of these to help prevent childhood obesity. We're trying to prevent fatty liver disease in our children. We're trying to prevent diabetes in our children, obesity in our children that will continue on throughout their life and lead to other chronic diseases, guys. This is all about not only living well, or not only living long, but living well, and starting that early on. So I hope this was helpful. If you like this content, if it was content of interest, please let me know in the form of a like. I am all about helping to prevent childhood obesity. I'm really, really passionate about this. I've started programs, my Fit and Fun program that I started in Illinois and med school to help prevent childhood obesity in the Illinois school districts. This is one of my passions and callings in medicine, is to help prevent and reverse childhood obesity and just promote better health in our children, especially our children of color. So if you have any questions about anything related to this topic, let me know in the comments, and I will see you next week on Lifestyle Med with Dr. Jade on Wednesdays, Wellness Wednesdays. See you next week. Bye.
If you enjoyed the music on this channel, make sure to check out the description box for your own custom music by C Major Nation. And as always, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and God bless.